Hello everyone, it's Crimini and Tina.
Hola.
Welcome to the channel. Hope everybody is just having a wonderful and a marvelous day and that you are in the best of health.
Yes, with health, as always, being most important, even mental health.
Today we're talking about a subject that you very seldom hear about that much, and it's about self-assessment, self-check. I know when I first came out here and first being retired, prior to that, I went through a divorce. A lot of stuff was on my mind. Then I went through a lot on my job, stress and harassment. And now I'm here in paradise trying to recess and recover and pick up the damage that was caused in my past. And I know a lot of you guys out here, you come out here, sometimes you're not with anybody, you're by yourself, you're alone. And I always tell my friends, sometimes it's good for you just to sit back and get yourself settled first before you rush right into another relationship, another job, or whatever it may be. Sometimes you just need to give yourself just a little bit of relaxation, get your focus together, get your thoughts together before moving forward. Because if you don't, you could hurt somebody, and that person could be you.
Yeah, that's true. Are you the one that always finds yourself saying they don't want to be in a relationship? That always cracks me up because I was like, it's just human nature to want love and to want to be able to give love. So when people say, oh, I don't want a relationship, I like that I don't have anybody, I'm like, do you? Do you really? Or is it that you can't find anybody and no one will mess with you? And that's why I think that self-assessment also is very important, because if you don't work on you, who's going to want to deal with you? I tell the kids all the time when they have bad relationships, don't I? I'm always like, well, would you want to date you? And then they look and go, Mom, and I'm like, no, seriously, would you date you? Because if you wouldn't even mess with somebody like you, how do you expect anybody to want to date you? You can't even date yourself. If you can't be alone with yourself, like you were saying, spend some time alone and think about, if you can't even be alone with yourself, who wants to be alone with you? And in this day and age of COVID, you and I spend a lot of time together. The curfew, everything, you're locked in with me. There's no escape.
Man, no escape at all.
Right. So I got to be good for me, but I got to be good for you also.
Absolutely.
And vice versa, or else we're going to cause problems. And then that's when you get all this domestic abuse and you get substance abuse, all the things that are happening.
And people are starting to really spend more time indoors with their families than they ever did on a normal day, because usually the guy's on the ground or the wife's on the ground or they're both on the ground. The kids are in daycare somewhere or in school, and they'll see you when you get off work that evening. But now it's a lot of reports of abuse. People are suicidal. People are killing one another, hurting one another, going to a divorce court. They're all backed up. All these things are happening because we got two forces down that are coming together. And what looked like a family before wasn't a family. It was just a time bomb ticking, waiting to happen.
Ooh, that's a good analogy. I like that. And people like that, unfortunately, find themselves lonely a lot of their lives.
Right.
And you'll hear them say it, like you'll be talking to them, and they're like, I'm just so lonely. I'm always so lonely. I feel so empty. But then they'll be quick to say, but I just can't find anyone, so I don't need anybody anyway. And I'm like, is it that you can't find anybody? Or is it that you don't need anybody? Which one is it? Right? Because they'll say it in the same breath, and I'll be like, well, which one is it? Well, I don't, I'm not a relationship person.
So I guess that person would be needing a life coach, huh, Tina?
I think that those are signs that maybe you should work on you, not controlling somebody else to fit in, right? To what you're deeming a good relationship, because we all have all these conceptions in our head, these thoughts in our head of what a good relationship looks like. But you can't control human nature. I'm me.
Right.
You're you.
Right.
There's things that you are not going to always love about me, just like there's things I don't always love about you.
Right.
But in the end of the day, my love for you will always supersede that.
Right.
Because we work together.
Right.
And the reason we work together is because we know how to love and include both of us into a life. So it really is, you did your self-assessment after your divorce. I did the same. I knew that my heart, my mind, and my soul was free and clear, and I was ready to get into another relationship.
Right.
You know, so there's things like that. But, and then it also is that we get what we put into the relationship.
Right, right.
So if you're putting in commitment and love and time and your mind, then that's what you get back. But when you're putting in absolutely nothing, and then the fruits of your labor you expect 20-fold, well, you're going to get back nothing 20-fold. Because it's what you put in, nothing. So, just saying.
It's just like going to the bank and trying to pull out $500 when you only got $300 in there.
Right. And here, you know, like I always say, you really do have, if you want to be in a relationship with someone here, meaning you're an expat, you come out here looking for love or looking for a woman. That's what I hear mostly. I want a woman. I'm looking for a woman. And I'm like, are you looking for a relationship or a partner or a woman? Because those are three starkly different things.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Or you looking for somebody just to kick it with. You looking for somebody just to hang out with. You really don't want anything serious. Because I told myself, after I went to my first divorce, I told myself, I never want to see another woman again in my life. I mean, I told myself that. But that was just the damage speaking through my emotions, telling me what I really didn't mean. But even the Bible says it's not good for a man to be alone. That's what the Bible says.
And that's what I'm saying. So it's human nature that you want to have a partner, somebody that you know is in life with you, in love with you, and invested to do the good with you. So they come out here saying, no, I just want a woman, or I just want a one-night stand. But it's because they haven't given over to self-assessment to find out what's really in there, what's really wrong with them, to be able to be open to give, like I said, into a relationship so that they can get what they want out. They just want gimme, gimme, gimme. I'll even pay. But in the end of the day, that's the same person that's in the corner suffering from depression, sad, lonely, and crying about their life.
Crying in darkness.
So that's a dangerous thing when you come out here, going back to that, and saying out into this world, especially in the DR, where they have limited amounts of knowledge of Spanish. And that's why I always say, I was like, you have to at least know the conversations that are going on around you. Because you meet the wrong person, a person who you think loves you, who you think thinks that the sun sets and rises upon your awakening, and then you end up finding out, no, they were watching the sun rise and set on your wallet.
Right. Or they was plotting against you, but you couldn't understand the language, the
Exactly.
culture. And you were the one that's going to be with the testimony, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Right. Or the ones that fall in love super quick because they just want to be loved so badly that they just have, I'm coming out there because of this woman. I get a lot of emails like that.
A whole bunch of them. A lot of them.
I'm in love with this woman. I want to take care of her and her family. So she's taking care of everything for me. And I'm like, woo, red flag, red flag, red flag.
Red flag.
Because that is your money, that is your life, and you are willingly giving it up to this person to whom you may not know that much about. And that always stems, I find, from insecurities in that person because, again, they didn't do self-assessment.
Self-assessment.
So know the people you're surrounding yourself with, even expats. Why do I say that? If you don't think that there are people who are after you for what you do for them or what you can give them, just like in the States here, you're crazy. The same mentality that people have in the States comes with them out here, unfortunately. So you have a lot of these expats, I'll put that in quotes, because some of them have channels, some of them do not. And it's, well, yeah, you can come and hang out. Well, what, you gonna get that bill? What can you do for me? I got a girl, that I can, introduce you to. That is nothing, I think, but a form of pimp. because they're passing it off as, oh, I'm just having you meet this friend of a friend, and they're getting something out of it.
Right. Absolutely.
Whether it's the companionship of her girlfriend, whether it's that they get a few meals paid for by homegirl because homegirl broke off by you. You know what I'm saying? They get that little kickback from hooking you up. Nothing's free. Nothing in life is free.
Yeah,
it's not that easy.
Nothing is.
So I think that it's almost, when I hear that all the time, I'm like, you're basically supporting prostitution. And they're like, no. I'm like, yes, you are. You're supporting prostitution when you sit there hooking all these girls up with these Americans, Canadians, Germans, Italians, all these expats that are coming into the city for a quote-unquote girlfriend or good time. And to me, last time I checked, prostitution equals slavery.
And slavery is a bad place to be in. Nobody would want to do the slave life. Because, I mean, we've been through as a people and as a culture. I tell you what, you never want to see nobody put in a situation like that.
Right. And that's why I say you kind of got to watch who you surround yourself with. Because if I want to know about you, I'll say, show me who you hang out with. Because actions speak louder than words.
I heard that a long time ago, Tina. I heard this preacher. He got up in church and said, if you want to know about a person, show me the company you keep and I can tell you all about yourself. Show me the company that you keep and I can tell you all about yourself. Because they're just like you. That's why you with them.
Yes, that there.
Birds of a feather flock together at Central Park, 12 noon, every single day.
Just saying. And I always look at things like, and I'm a woman, so I'm going to give you a woman's perspective if I was trying to gank you. This is what I would do. I'm never going to let you know that I need or I want right away, because I'm a long haul kind of girl. I'm going to see what the big payoff is. So I'm going to gain your trust. I'm going to do and smile everything that you want. And then when I see the big payoff, meaning, oh, you need a place? Well, if I put everything in my name, then you can get the tax break and we won't have no problems. It'd be so easy. You just give me the money and I do everything for you with my cedula. And then when I'm tired of you, there's the door. Because when I call the policía, I'm going to say, que yo vivo aquí. I live here. Here's my name on all the paperwork. And you got to go. So that's what I'm saying. It's a long haul type of thing. Guys cannot be that dumb. And women, because women do that crap too when they come out here. And then all of a sudden this guy's doing everything for him. Oh, he's my little knight in shining armor. My little 20-year-old Chico. Chico gonna leave you broke. And then Chico gonna move his other woman into your apartment. And you're gonna be the one crying on the corner. I tell you, they all these scams, they happen everywhere. It happens in the U.S.
Yeah,
I don't understand. Why do people get on a plane and think that just because they come over to the island that none of that occurs here, or it's just not going to happen to me? Because remember, when the people here went on lockdown, a lot of people also lost their jobs, just like they did in the U.S. And we're already talking where the economy was already in a bad state for some people. They do not make as much.
That's true.
So they really took a hit. Their unemployment is nowhere near what you all get. And what you all get ain't even enough to survive. So imagine. Then that's when I tell you that basic human instinct to survive starts kicking in. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Greed's everywhere. Self-preservation is always first. If it's me or you, guess what? I choose me.
Right.
And that's just human. It's not a bad thing. Like everybody makes it sound like, oh, these girls, they just after money, they want to get pregnant. No, it's human survival. Basic instinct of self-preservation is, I have not ate. I do not have clothes. I do not have running water, and I do not have a place to lay my head. So I'm going to do whatever I need to do. I'm going to smile and act however I need to act to get what I want from you. Now, do I want it temporary and then I'm going to act up, or do I want the long haul, so I'm going to pretend? And then you get all these guys who say, oh, I knew her for 6 months, I knew her for 9 months, and then she was a different person. It's like, boy, she wasn't a different person. You never knew her. You rushed in for love. You rushed in to fill this hole in you because, again, going back, you didn't do the self-assessment. You didn't spend the time with yourself, working on yourself, before you decided to go and look for a relationship. Because I don't understand how you think you can train a human being.
Right.
Can you train them? I mean, are they a dog?
You can barely train a dog.
Right. And people have freedom of choice. You know what I'm saying? They're always going to do what's in them. So it might seem like you're training somebody. It might seem like they're playing along, smacking them on the nose with a newspaper when they don't do what you want them to do. But any woman with home training and morals, you're not going to be able to change her. That's like saying, well, I'm going to take a horrible woman and make her good, or I'm going to take a really good woman and make her horrible. You can't. What's in you is in you.
Right. Home
training, that's something that's always in you. Like I tell you, when people are like, oh my gosh, you know, she cooks for you, she waits on you. And I said, don't make it sound like servitude. I do it out of love.
Right.
And because I was raised that husband works hard, he comes home, you sit down, I've cooked, even in retirement, I've cooked, here's your dinner, honey. You need anything else? All right, let's sit down and eat.
Right.
But you didn't train me to do that.
Absolutely.
It's what was in me. So that's what I'm saying.
It's give and take.
Because if you train me and you are trained, you know, these women and act like, you know, they're little dogs, honestly, again, hate to throw the word again, but that's like slavery. Is what did they do to the slaves? They put them in bondage. They made them rely on the master. The master had all the shot calling. And when you didn't listen to the master, you either got beat, you got killed, or you get thrown the hell out. That's it.
And one thing about that slavery thing, even when the freedom came to the people, they still didn't want to be free because they had been in bondage so long. They said, this is all I know. I just know my master and that's it. And I ain't going nowhere else.
Yeah.
You see? So we got to be very careful how we treat people, because I'm telling you something. This depression thing is deep and it's severe. And it can take you off a path that God could have something great for you, but they can take you off a path of blessings and prosperity. But because we don't want to change our ways and we want to stay on the same ride in the same train every single day, well, listen, just expect the same results. If you ride the same train every single day, it's going to take you to the same place. It's going to pick you up the same place, because you keep riding the A train.
Exactly.
But if you get on a different train, a different line, now the B line going to take you somewhere else other than the A line. The A line is just going to take you to a certain place and that's it. But you might need to transfer and get the B line and go somewhere else.
Yes, and the fastest and easiest way to break that monotony is to, again, self-assessment on yourself.
Right.
See what you need to work on, and then you can become equally yoked. Because I'll tell you this, I never even heard the phrase until I got with you about being equally yoked, which is in the Bible.
Right.
And I will tell you this, y'all can downplay and say, oh, you know, I don't believe in God or whatever, like this and that. But I'll tell you this, it is the truth, Ruth. When you're with somebody who either isn't on your level, we've all had those relationships. You feel like you're talking to the wall, or you're treated badly and you're giving it all. And you're like, I gave everything, like you said in your first marriage, you give everything and you get nothing in return.
Still get crap.
That's unequally yoked. We know how it feels. That's the word for it. You are unequally yoked. You both should be in it. It's not his struggle, it's my struggle. It's not my struggle, it's his struggle. Because together, we work on everything. Right. Teamwork makes the dream work. It's not one person carrying and pushing the cart while the slave master smacks the whip and tells them when and how and where to go.
Right, absolutely.
You know? That's why I tell you, I go, it's the difference of knowing what a want and a need is. And we teach our kids that.
Yes, we do. We train them on that principle of knowing what a want and a need. Because there's a big difference. There's a big time difference between the two.
Right.
Because everybody got a want.
Oh, we got lists. I'm sure everybody's got
everybody got a list
of wants, you know, and some of these people, unfortunately, when they come out here, it's, oh, I want all these anonymous sex partners. I want to, you know, be catered to. I want to be told every day that the sun shines when I wake up and that I'm the, you know, the ruler of all. Last time I checked, that's only Jesus. But anyways, and it's not what they need. And so what you would think, if you really are thinking about your growth, your life, because retirement is a strict discipline, because you are usually making money, living on money on a budget, you are disciplined in your life, then these disciplines need to be followed. And that's when you can't go always for your wants. You have to say, is it a want or is it a need? A need, a equally yoked relationship. Loving themselves, but loving you. You know, you got to love yourself, but you got to love the person also.
Absolutely.
And I told you a million times, I go, you sit with a person who just does want, and you talk to them about their life, their upbringing, their past relationships, and you'll find out why. And 9 times out of 10, it's bad parenting. You know, they weren't taught wants and needs. They were either not given anything or overindulged. And they also didn't have a lot of love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, abuse, neglect. And they seek to get that control over others when they need to take control of their own lives.
Absolutely. And you know what? You can't put something else. You can't put other people in control of your own destiny.
Yeah.
That's your job. That's your job to steer the ship. You know what you want. You know what you like. So, but at some point, every train got to come to the station.
Yep. And like I told you, if you're the smartest person in the room and the person's not contributing, you can get up and go to another room.
Go to another room. That makes a lot of sense. When you first told me that made a lot of sense. It made a lot of sense.
Just saying. Because that's when you get on that train and it just keeps going. You're on a hamster wheel is what I call it. And you're just going around and round and round. You're never going to achieve anything because, again, you're just going to sit there where you're at because you're the smartest person, so you think. And you don't learn nothing. Because when you think you're the smartest, you've already put up the blockade and said, I'm not going to learn anything. I don't need to learn anything. There's nothing you can show me. Boom, there comes a disconnect. And on top of that, if you want a subservient person just to be your hype man, I would look at problems you might have with insecurity because I don't need a whole, well, remember I'm Gonna Get You Sucker? If you guys have ever saw the movie I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, remember where the whole group was behind me and they go, hey man, who's that? And he goes, my theme music. If you need a whole group to be behind you with your theme music, I don't know, maybe you need to check your insecurities because I could walk into a room by myself and I don't need my theme music and a hype man going, go Tina, go Tina. No, I don't need it. Sorry. If that's it, then that means you have something empty inside of you. And we've all had that feeling. I have, you have, where you just feel like there's a hole inside of you. Something's missing, whether it's in your heart, your mind, your soul. You feel something off. Sit back, take the time. Do a self-assessment, maybe seek some help, but work on making yourself a better person. Not another person better for you. Work on yourself to be a better person, completing ourselves, filling our own loneliness, and making our own life tolerable to ourselves. Because remember, if you can't date you, nobody else will.
It sure won't. And we got to be very careful. And I learned this from an old proverb. You got to be very careful of the seeds that you sow. Because in due time and due season, they will come back. And you may not like those seeds that you sown out of bitterness, out of being possessive, out of being demanding, out of being controlling. The person that you really, really want, that might beef you, and you might fall heads over heels at that person. But you got to remember, those seeds that you planted from the people that was in your life, that God sent to your life to make you a better person. You didn't accept those seeds, and you just kept putting those seeds of strife and seeds of dissension. And you know what? Now those seeds begin to come back, and you ain't going to like it. I promise you that.
Yeah, been there.
You ain't going to like it at all. So be careful what you plant.
I
be careful what you plant.
Wow, that was really good analogy.
Be careful what you plant.
Yes.
So that it, Tina?
That is absolutely. Self-assessment, get help. If you need it, work on yourself.
There you go. And if you need some help, reach out. There's all kinds of books. There's all kinds of counselors.
Websites.
Get that book so you can really find out the person you are now than the person that you was back then. Because if you continue to be that same person you was back then you'll never change. You'll never be the person that God wants you to be. And you'll never be that person that God expects you to be. And you won't have the right answers to answer when he asks you, what have you done and you're going to have to deal with your consequences.
When you're sitting in retirement,
all
alone, reflecting.
And not just that, but when you're standing before God.
Yes.
Too.
But I mean, sometimes you can be tortured in life right here before you even get there.
Right. But you know what? I've had a lot of people that I work with and I dealt with, and people in general. There's some people out there that people don't even want to spend 5 minutes with because the attitude is just so harsh.
Nasty.
I mean, just the whole environment. I mean, everything. Good morning. She said good morning to him. What's so good about it? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? There's people like that 24/7, 365. Okay? So are you going to continue to be like that and expect to get a quality person in your life?
Yeah.
It don't work like that. Listen, you got to put something in if you want to get something out. But it's got to be with kindness. For with kindness have I drawn loving kindness, gentleness, and treat people how you want to be treated. Because if you're going to spend your whole life dogging everybody out, let me tell you something. I remember that cartoon, Popeye, the Sailor Man, and Bluto. And Bluto was the big bully. But Popeye was the skinny one. But he had it, always reached back and get his can of spinach. Reached in his pocket, got his spinach out, and he can beat the biggest man in the room. But I'm going to tell you something. People may look fragile and act fragile, but dynamite comes in small packages.
Hello.
They don't have to be big, and they don't have to be giants like Samson was in the Bible days or Goliath, okay? They can be just gentle, sweet, and kind.
Yeah, because they always say just because you're loud don't mean you're right.
Thank you. And just because you're loud don't mean you got the full band behind you. You could just have a saxophone player, and that ain't the full band. He just out there by himself. But when you put it all together, it can be a beautiful music sweet to your ears if you just allow it to happen.
See, this is why I'm with them.
Well, I tell you what, God speaks in mysterious ways. But was that it, Tina?
Yes.
Okay, but anyway, in the meantime, between the time, always try to remember that life was always meant to be enjoyed.
Yes, it was. Make sure to hit subscribe. Thank you and welcome to all our new subscribers. Continue to hit subscribe, guys. Some of you guys still have not done it, but you're watching. Hit notifications if you would like to get notified first when we drop videos like this and many, many more on relocation and a million topics that we can, cover in this channel. Also, hit thumbs up because it helps. It's the free and easy way to patron the channel. All information, as usual, is always underneath the channels, and we will see you
on the next video. Peace.